I'm so sleepy. I've been sleepy since I woke up this morning. I try and be consistent from when I go to sleep and I wake up. Keep it at... I'm one of those, I do better at even numbered hours sleep. Some people do better with odd number hours sleep. And when people, whether you do better with odd or even, if you miss that window, because I miss my sleep window a lot. When you miss that sleep window, it's better to stay up 2 hours and go to sleep and get 5 hours sleep instead of 6 hours sleep. You'll be getting less sleep, but you'll be waking up in your regular sleep cycle, and you'll feel as rested as you would if you would have gotten 7 or closer to that than if you would have gotten 6, because if you would have gotten 6, you wake up in a different sleep cycle. You know, you're supposed to be in REM and your alarm goes off, you know. So anyway, what do I know? Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heoka empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I'm cold today, man. I got socks on. I got layers on. I don't have a sweatshirt on right now. I'm waiting for the heater to kick on. Today was one of those days that I planned on doing stuff and nothing worked out how I planned. Artie Pants, get down. Although, I don't know, I still got stuff done. I just wanted to go into town and it didn't work out. I just didn't get to. And landlord came over and they hauled a freaking 2,500 pounds worth of garbage off to the dump. That's freaking... You want to talk mental health? Talk about people that feel like they're in lack and scarcity and have to collect everything. You know? Oh my gosh. Mom used to have that mentality. Thank goodness. I'm still going through stuff from Mom's hoarding days. Anyway, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Did I introduce myself? I don't think I did. Oh, well, if I did, I'll do it again. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Heoka empath. I just like... Yep, I did. It's that part right there. That's when I remember saying it. Anyway, so I didn't get to go into town and it didn't work out because how I planned, because I went like, I don't know, Friday. God, I can't see it. Time just goes by so fast. Friday, I went and gave the landlady the rent check because I wanted to stay out of town because I live in a tourist town on the weekend. I didn't want to deal with traffic and freaking all the knuckleheads that are out. So I brought it early, and she said that they were going to be coming this next week with the trailer to haul a bunch of that stuff up. So if I had stuff that needed to go, that it can go. Well, I started getting stuff together, and they showed up today. And I did not know. So I did not, I mean, I was working towards the outcome of getting rid of this stuff, but it didn't work out. So I did get rid of a couple bags of garbage. They did take with them, but it wasn't what they knew. So I'll just take care of it in another way. I was just like, whatever. And then she does her walkthrough and make sure everything looks okay and that I'm not trashing the joint. And goes on her way, you know. And such is life. So yeah, 2,500 pounds of garbage, man. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying not to collect stuff. We'll see if it stays empty. She comes in as the lady's a Pisces and her son's a Sagittarius. And it's like me. It's like, no. because mom's a Sagittarius. No, because we're fire. So she's water and he's fire. And they got that steamy relationship. And, you know, she she was like, I said, so do you feel better? I said, doesn't it feel better that all that stuff is cleared away and now there's room, you know, for growth? I mean, they can plant flowers over there. They can do all kinds of stuff on the side over there. And she was like, yeah, but I'll feel better when this, and this. I'm just like, no, just call it a win. Just call that achievement, what you got done today, a win. And she was like, yeah, okay. I'm always here to remind people. So I called today's talk Pinto Beans. I've never in my life made pinto beans. I used to hate them when I was a kid because Mom used to get them. They're poor people food in my mind. And she used to get them and make them, and she just never had a flair for seasoning, and we never had a whole lot of money for extra stuff, anything extra besides salt and pepper. So everything was just really, really bland. And I just never got a taste for them. But I've been meaning to make them because a couple of people have been telling me about how easy it is, and you know, and I can just add it to this, add it to that, add it to all kinds of stuff, and it's really high in protein. And so I got a bag of beans the other day, last time I went into town, and it's just me and Mom, you know, and I just dumped the whole bag in there, and then I start getting online, and then it's telling me how to cook a pound of beans, and I was like, oh shoot, I made 2 pounds. So I got a lot of beans on the stove over there. They're pretty good though, huh, Ma? You liked them, didn't you? On some I just put a little bit of cheese on it. I should get some of that crema stuff. That'd be better than the cheese. So one of the things the landlord did when she came over today is they put the tarp up over the swamp cooler. I'm so grateful that we have a swamp cooler for the summer. We'll be glad for that. Keep all the old dogs nice and freaking cool, best we can. But anyway, so a lot of warm air has been escaping out there. And the first month we lived here, God, the electricity bill was $190 with a $40 transfer fee. So it was like $150, $40, right? And then this month it was $200. And I was like, because I'm trying to use it, like I had been cognizant about it, right? Plus, I don't think that we need to use it so much at night because we have so many blankets, but as long as when we get up, we kick it on, right? That's reasonable because it's set at 70, and today I turned it down to like 65, and it still kept kicking on. Anyway, we had the windows open and getting fresh air and stuff like that. But I got a letter from the gas company. Frickin', this stuff just cracks me up. A word about natural gas prices. As you look at your bill over the last year, you'll notice an increase in the gas cost portion. Now you got to understand. See, the thing of it is okay, maybe that's how things are, or maybe there's just a bunch of guys sitting around a table in a room that just want to make more money, so it's just like things people say. The CEO of the Kit Carson Electric Initiative Co-op, they call it, whatever it is, he makes like $235,000 a year. So first, cut his pay. You know, how many families can he help with his freaking obnoxiously... Oh, I mean, all you're doing is paying for people's egos and for who they are. You're paying for people... Because, I mean, this guy is not out digging ditches. The thumbnail that I used today is of the fire that was here last spring. Here in New Mexico. The feds started it. There were 2 separate fires. And I bet the two people... The state... when I say the feds, is they worked at a federal agency, the U.S. Department of Forestry. 2 employees at 2 different places, freaking on a windy day, went out and said, we're going to do this controlled burn here. And it got out of hand. And then New Mexico faced the largest fire in its history. And they still haven't compensated people for that fire. But the feds that started the fire, they probably continued to get their paychecks. Are people seeing this? I mean, everything's fire legit, but I guess, everybody that works for the forestry department is going to keep their mouths shut because they sign the back of their paycheck. That's why things are so slow to change, because so many people benefit from the things that the world would be better off without. Militaries? Our readiness is crap in this country. They show too many pictures. It's not what it once was. No, people got lazy and they rested on their laurels of things that they did before in history and got complacent. Yeah, so stuff's getting weird. Anyway, I made a new batch of cookies today. I made some butter a couple days ago and I haven't felt like making cookies. I looked it up online. In order to get a license to sell these to dispensaries here in New Mexico. There goes the heater. These are the batch I made today. I give them to people. They're my good karma cookies. They're probably about anywhere from 75 to 100 milligrams a piece. My favorite person to give them to are people that say, "Oh, those things don't do anything to me." Like, okay, well then it's a really good cookie. That's all. So the kind that I made today, I actually got a new recipe. And I did it how I used to do it, where I mixed the butter with the sugar separate. And so they turned out, it has a real nice color. Has a real nice texture. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. It has a nice texture on the back. You can still see the potency. These today, I didn't get too crazy with the ingredients. The ones I made today are cream cheese chips. Yeah. And they're really good. They're really good. They taste good. They feel good. I ate one. I call them time travelers because they help time go by so fast. These, after I made it, I took the first one because I was like, crap, I made it, and then it was probably 11:30 and I couldn't leave because I was blocked in. They were blocking the driveway with the trailer. So I said, I'm not going anywhere, so I might as well eat one of these, try one of these. So I tried one at noon, and then boo! Lo and behold, what do you know? 3:30, 4 o'clock's rolling around. So they're good to help you sleep. They're really good for sleep, Eat one in a couple hours. Man, that's a good cookie. Eat one in a couple hours before you go to bed and just enjoy yourself and laugh and giggle. And then get a good night's sleep. Yeah. I think everybody should try one of my cookies at some time or another. They're pretty good. And then, the best part about it is you go to sleep and you wake up and you don't have to look at your phone to see if you drunk dialed your ex, or look at your fender to see if you hit something on your way home from the bar, or any number of those wonderful things. That's why I've always been a fan of cannabis. I like alcohol too much. Alcohol makes me fall down. It makes I do the dumbest things on alcohol. So I don't do alcohol. I've never been falling down stoned in my whole entire life. I couldn't tell you how many times I've like gravity impaired, you know, or I pass out on the lawn and I'm just hanging on to the lawn for dear life. Any number of lame scenarios. Oh. Now I'm gonna start getting hot. How are you doing today, Ma?
I'm doing good.
Do you like those beans?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I never had kids, but sometimes getting Mom to eat is what I've seen other people experience with their kids. You know, I got it. Okay, keep eating it. Don't play with your food. You know, so like that cracks me up. Come on, you're such a neat lady. Are you cool enough? Are you warm enough? Good deal. So Ben did a talk today for like, I don't know, he talked for a while. I can't stay for like the whole thing on those things, just listening to them, unless they're talking about something. But when just people doing questions and answers and stuff like that, because human beings are trite and they get there late to the show, and oftentimes they're just asking the same questions that can be answered by watching the playlist. But I don't know, it's a trip. It's a trip to imagine the world. Some things that I have gotten out of the last several, because I've watched the playlist, but I haven't watched the whole entire playlist. I don't have that kind of time. And there's other stuff I'd rather listen to, honestly. What we know we get when we're supposed to. When the student is ready, the teacher, the universe gives us the information we're supposed to receive. And so when the micronova happens, or whatever it's called, the sun's only going to go out for 3 days. That's good news. Unfortunately, the power is going to be out for years. I was like, oh, okay, well, if the sun's going to be out for 3 days, that's okay, but then, the power being out for years. So where we live, there's already a lot of people that live off-grid where we live. I'm not ready to live off-grid yet. I don't want to live off-grid. Mom and I like watching Golden Girls on Hulu. Although, well, we couldn't do these things without power, obviously. We could live off-grid. I mean, we have our own cable network. We got, on DVD over here, we have Columbo, we got Quincy, we got Northern Exposure, we got House, we got Big Bang Theory. Sometimes I feel better about leaving Mom with the DVD than I do, like when I go into town, leaving her with the internet, because the internet isn't as reliable. So anyway, the world's just oh God, I just can't believe how crazy it is. I wonder, I was just watching an excerpt about that dude on his extradition case. They're going to take him back to Idaho. And they're real concerned about his rights and his safety, because they want to make sure that he gets it back there alive so he can answer all the questions that people want to know the answers to. So they want to make sure that nothing bad happens to him at all. God, he's just freaking... There's just so many guys that are just like him. I see them everywhere. They're walking down the street everywhere all the time. And when you hear about the mother that is just like beside herself, like, oh my God, this is my son, Sometimes I wonder, I want to ask her, I'm like, didn't you ever see signs? I mean, I can feel people that have these desires, these inclinations. It's just, they're like, I don't know, indifference. It's kind of cold. It's not like hating something. But he's just, he kind of just, he's 28, but he's like 28 going on 14, you know? I mean, from what I can tell, his parents weren't like, you know, I mean, he had a pretty good life, you know. You know, dad takes care of everything. Dad's, you know, he just wants to be the apple of his dad's eye. And how many of same personality types are this kid? Same. Everywhere I look, all over the place. Anyway, I hope the family gets the answers that they want. I hope they do. It's just a real, you know. I always do, though. I always want the people to be able to get closure. There's so many families in this country that just don't have closure. A buddy of mine just freaking died. I went to high school with them. I've gone to school with them as long as I can remember. I probably have, in those photo albums up here, I probably have all these, I probably have school pictures with them in it. He had the blondest hair, I remembered, you know, and he was the stoner. He was the stoner that hung out with Aaron LaFawn. That's his name, and evidently on Christmas he went riding out on an ATV and got in an accident and wrecked, and then ended up on life supports, and then they took him off a few days after that, you know. And he was a vibrant health. I mean, the guy had one of those. He was I was looking at his profile on Facebook, and he was a logger, and he had one of those chainsaws, man, that are taller than him, that cut through those great big old trees, you know. Those big old ginormous trees that have been around forever that they probably shouldn't be cutting down, but he's not going to be doing it anymore. I hope he rests easy in there in the ethers there, Aaron. He always liked to party and have a good time. Anyway, some of the tabs, I was looking in my tabs of sometimes I'll come across an article. I don't care about anything that's going on politically right now. It's just I started to read this, a word about natural gas. Turn your thermostat down. Weatherize your home. Clean. Okay. Yeah, I do all this stuff. You know, how about bring your prices down? You know, and you know what they're going to do is we're going to start seeing electric freaking cars and their little gadgets, their little toys. We're going to start seeing them. No, see, look in your town, in your city. Let me know if they have those stupid EVs, man. EVs are the worst freaking idea. And it's like, we're about to go into an ice age as soon as the freaking ball of fire goes out. Yeah, it's going to come back on after 3 days, but still, man, there's going to be a lot of places that the weather is just going to dip. Freaking, it's going to get cold. There's not going to be any power. You know, I'm just going to bury Mom, if God willing, you know, if Mom's still around when it happens. You know, it could. She's 74. She's physically pretty healthy, aren't you, Ma? Yeah? Make her brush her teeth every day, stuff like that. But, yeah. The human spirit wants to survive. It does. The human spirit does desire to thrive and survive. That's why I'm like, so many people have just sold out. They just succumb to the freaking easier, softer way, you know? I mean, there's so many different ways that you can just sell out. You can sell your soul by just being a freaking lazy blob. You can just, you know, you could sell your soul by just lacking ambition and not having any kind of initiative and just doing the basic minimum to get by in life. There's all kinds of ways people can sell their souls. You know, or am I compromising myself? Am I doing something for a paycheck that, you know, I was told was not how, you know, that goes against my morals and my ethics and my personal values and beliefs? Or do people even have those anymore? I was talking to these kids about respect the other day, and I was looking it up online, you know, and it's online. Let's see if it's still there. It was there forever, and now I can't find it. Auspicious is there. Sympathetic nervous system is there. Jesse Klein. When was this? October 11th, 2022. In case anyone hadn't noticed, this is an article by Jesse Klein in the National Post. For years, we've heard stories about how Ottawa's chronic neglect about the Canadian Armed Forces has left it outdated hardware, sidearms that belong in history museums, blah, 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 blah. They say they have 72,000 in Canada, but I don't think that they have that many. I think they lie. They lie about the numbers. They fudge the numbers, but they lie about everything. When has the government ever said anything true? Anyway, going back into the conversation of talking about respect. I could have looked it up again. But then the definitions might... I could run the risk of the definitions being different. Somebody said they found Osiris. It's like, great. Just wonderful. Class. Contrived. Proclivity. There it is. It's on the very top. Respect, a feeling of deep admiration for somebody or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. People don't... The majority of the percentage of the population, I'm speaking in general terms for the layman, they don't respect things. I've had a hard time with respect. I've respected a lot of people in my life. I haven't respected people a lot because of their age, who they were related, stuff like that. I've always made it a rule of thumb that I respect people that I find do respectable things. You know? The leader that you can't tell they're the leader because they're acting as the subordinates. You know? That's how you can tell a good leader is they're working with everybody else along with everybody else. Not just sitting up in a desk somewhere and then every now and again, come hither, tell me what's going on down there. That's what my flight sheets reminded me of when I was in the Air Force. So... things are just getting nutty. They're pretty okay here. I mean, where I live, there ain't really nothing going on. I mean, it's just pretty quiet where I live. Huh, Stanley? Kiki Meow Meow? You happy cat? Yeah, he don't miss all those other cats. He don't miss them. He don't miss where we were, huh? There was a place for rent back over there. About $300 less than we... Wait. Yeah, $350 less than we pay here. I don't know. We'll stay here for a while. But it's always good to see what's going on out there, what's going on in the world. There's a lot of people, I call it there's a lot of young women I've noticed in the last few days with their kids that are looking for a place. It's like New Year's Eve, you know, that was the last straw with their man. And now they're going out on their own. Huh, you remember those days? Yeah? We've lived in some interesting places, right? That we had to go live in that trailer. 3.4 miles up Backbone Ridge was the address, was the actual address. Because Mom was dating this guy and we lived in this hotel or a motel. One of those that you can pay by the month. There's a little kitchenette on the side of it was like the Bates Motel on the side of I-5. So it's traffic constantly and stuff like that. But we had to move from there because Mom was dating this guy and he hit the manager, the place. He hit his dog and killed the dog. So we got evicted. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably a law someplace that says, you know, it didn't have anything to do with us, but they went ahead and put, you know, a mother and 2 kids out on the street, and so we had to go stay with him up in this trailer, man. See, the laws and regulations, policies and procedures, they're real nice, and theoretically they're great, you know. I always thought they existed so people would get like punished and stuff like that, and They just don't. I mean, because there's so many of these dumb little loopholes and dumb. I saw that scumbag Marilyn Manson, his case got dismissed because the woman didn't petition the court and tell the court that she got a new lawyer. So the whole thing just got thrown out the window. So sometimes I think the judicial system is more for the culprit than the offended. That's just me. I've been yammering on long enough. Again, I was so tired. I did not really have the heart to come on and do this talk today, and I did it anyway. Stanley, what are you doing? Do you find the beans? And it's cold and my body hurts. So I don't want to be a snivelly whiner. And the dogs are gonna have to go out soon, so I'm gonna get going. Maybe tomorrow I'll get to leave the house and I'll do something. And I'll get some evidence that the world is changing, that the world's becoming a better place.